President Trump and the Republican Party are facing mounting pressure as Americans suffer from economic pain amid the ongoing war with Iran. Oil and gas prices are rapidly rising and are showing no signs of letting up. Oil costs surged over $90 a barrel Friday, and a gallon of regular gasoline rose to $3.45 overnight, which is a 47-cent increase from a week ago, according to AAA. Separate from the war, the United States unexpectedly lost 92,000 jobs last month, a telltale sign of a strained labor market. And all of that is on top of the ballooning cost of Trump's war itself, which is costing an estimated $1 billion a day, according to two congressional sources with knowledge of the matter. House Budget Committee ranking member Brendan Boyle sent a letter to the Congressional Budget Office requesting an official estimate of the impact of the war, writing, quote, taxpayers deserve a nonpartisan estimate of the financial and economic impact of President Trump's reckless war in Iran that has already led to the tragic deaths of American service members. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania. Congressman Boyle, thank you for coming back to the weekend. You sent this letter to the CBO. As I was reading that, it made me wonder, do you think that the CBO wouldn't answer your letter?
Well, great to be back on. And fortunately, since I'm the ranking member of Budget, I'm actually one of the four individuals the CBO has to respond.
Okay, so you are going to get a response.
He said I have poor honey.
So I'm pretty confident that we will get a response. And it's incredibly important because everyone is citing this $1 billion a day figure. That is coming from two unofficial sources. And I have to say, I tend to think that actually the cost is significantly higher than that. What CBO, the official nonpartisan source for this information, will do is take a full accounting, which will include not just the obvious costs in terms of money that we're sending out the door, but also the full costs, such as replacing all of the military hardware that we're currently using in this military operation. That's where actually the cost can explode. And I think that $1 billion rough estimate that we're hearing right now isn't properly accounting for that.
Interesting. Congressman, one of the things that's so interesting is maybe the word when we're thinking about the impact on the economy on all of Donald Trump's behavior and chaos. He ran on fixing the economy. It is clear to the American people that is not happening. We have this national average gas prices, which I've become obsessed with over this weekend. A week ago, gas averaged $2.98. Yesterday, it was $3.41. Today, it is $3.45. That is seemingly directly tied to his actions in Iran. At what point does this actually become a political liability for him? Or is he actually Teflon Don? Because at the end of the day, there doesn't seem to be any blowback for Donald Trump. Now, for Republicans in the House, your colleagues who may be out of a job come January, that's one thing. But what is the political liability for him?
Well, so first, the local place that I use, 1 week ago, when I drove by, it was $2.99 a gallon. As of this morning, it was $3.49 a gallon. A 50-cent jump in 1 week. I have never seen that before. Didn't see that coming out of the pandemic. Didn't see a huge drop like that during the Great Recession. A 50-cent jump in a week is really a massive amount. Also, it could be getting much, much worse if the projections from Qatar and the UAE are correct. We could be looking back at this in a couple weeks and saying this was a good time to buy gas. In terms of what kind of a blowback there will be of that for Trump, look at his approval ratings and look at the difference now versus the first term. First term, by far, his highest ratings were on the economy. Right now, when the American people are asked, how is Donald Trump doing in handling the economy? More than 2-to-1 disapprove over approve. And I think that is a big reason why in special election after special election this past year, you saw Republicans get crushed. Democrats overperforming by an average of 14 points and are now a very heavy favorite to win back the House of Representatives. So actually, as old-fashioned as it may sound, I believe the normal rules of politics will apply to Donald Trump and Republicans, and they will be held deeply responsible by the American people for their poor policies.
Congressman, with everything going on in Iran, we have sort of lost the thread on the other major news that happened right before we went to war, which was the Supreme Court overturning Trump's sweeping tariffs. This week, there was a headline that more than 20 states have now, including your home state, Pennsylvania, have now sued Trump over these global tariffs imposed. They are filing a lawsuit over import taxes he opposed after a stinging loss at the Supreme Court. The Democratic attorneys general and governors in the lawsuit argue that Trump is overstepping his power with planned 15% tariffs on much of the world. Do you have any update for us on potential legislation, one, for those rebates that we were all talking about, the however many $1 billion that Trump took from corporations because of this tariff? And then, two, any plans for the House to ultimately vote to rescind some of these tariffs yet again?
Well, first, I'm glad you're talking about this topic because it is incredibly important. A 6-3 decision from a Supreme Court, mind you, that is typically 6-3 conservative to liberal. The court ruled pretty resoundingly that, yes, the President of the United States violated the Constitution by illegally and unconstitutionally taking more than $130 billion worth of the American people's money for the U.S. government. That is an illegal tax that Donald Trump collected. Now what I say, my congressional Democratic colleagues say, is it's the American people's money. We need to get it back. We need to send it back to them. So I'm a co-sponsor of legislation that would issue these tariff refunds. I believe the courts have already legally mandated that this administration come up with a mechanism in order to return these ill-gotten gains. But unfortunately, right now, under current leadership, you have a House of Representatives that right now is not planning to bring up our legislation. And I'm more than comfortable to go into this next election and say, look, it's your money. I want to give it back to you. And it is Donald Trump and his Republican lackeys in Congress that are refusing to give you your money back.
I guess we'll see how long Speaker Mike Johnson's able to sit on those pieces of legislation. Congressman Brendan Boyle, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.